Subliminal TV.
Good morning, guys. Good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending on where you're at in the world. I am Eric, and this is Subliminal TV. If you're new here, thanks for showing up, and if you're returning, thanks for coming back. This is the story of how I ended up with all of these silver cars, unplanned. But if you look behind me, there's the silver Range Rover. We're gonna talk about that one. There's the silver Bentley. We're gonna talk about that one. There's the Ferrari, of course. There's the Porsche. My whole fleet is about silver. And there's one that isn't even here that hasn't even been shown because it's been going through some high performance mods, and this guy is taking forever. He took forever to do another car that I had, so I should have known. That's another story. Maybe we'll talk about that in another video. I don't always like to out people either, so maybe we won't talk about it. So I was looking for a Ferrari. I found a red one, which was my preference. Well, let's go back in the story. Before I found the red one, I found a yellow one. I was supposed to send a deposit. I didn't send it in time. When I was ready to send the deposit, I called a guy and said, hey man, where should I send that money to? And he tells me, don't send it. The car's gone. And I was looking forward to it because that was gonna be a fun trip. I was gonna fly there and not ship the car back, take the road trip back to Atlanta from Arizona in that car. And I was really looking forward to doing that. That didn't work out. Maybe things worked out the way they were supposed to because I love gated. Fast forward into the future, I find the red car, paddle shift, go drive it. This time, learn my lesson from the yellow car, so I decided to put the deposit on this car. Did that. Not even a week or two later, the silver car came up and it's gated. And as much as I like red was my preference, I have a decision to make. Do I want to go with color or do I want to go with a manual transmission? Obviously, I want the manual transmission and I don't regret it for a moment. The F1 cars, I love that popping sound they make when you're shifting through those gears at high RPMs. I love it, right? But there's no comparison to how it clunking sound of the gated shifter when you're going through those gears, going through the mountains, hearing that exhaust behind you. Like, there is no substitute for that, so I don't regret it. So that's how I ended up to the silver car, the Bentley. So I was always looking at Bentleys, the Bentley GT, since when it first came out. When it first came out, I couldn't afford it. Always loved that body style. And in my mind, I like the light blue ones or black ones even, or white ones, or like the reddish ones with tan interior. I was always looking at them. This one came up, worked out a deal with that, ended up getting it. It just happened to be silver. The Range Rover. The story behind it is I've had many Range Rovers of this generation, but never a sport. But this generation, 2008, 2007. Never the sport classic though. I've always liked that sport classic. So I'm gonna build it as an off-road vehicle. And if you have been here to this channel before, you know I'm into RVing and camping and things like that. So you would know that it's something that I'm into, camping, building that thing off-road, put some big tires on it and just beat it up. And then of course we have the Porsche, which is the most recent addition to the fleet altogether. So the way this Porsche deal happens is I always wanted silver or even like the Nardo color unred interior. One day I make an offer to a guy, he's in I think Mississippi. I always wanted the Panamera, was looking at them, and I ended up buying the Maserati, and I thought that might be a pacifier to kind of just get me by. And that's not why I bought the Maserati. The Maserati just came up and it was a fair deal, so I bought it. And I thought during that time, especially it had red interior. Remember, I wanted my Porsche to have red interior. But I always, when I would see the Porsche out, I'm like, yeah, but it looks so good. It looks so good. Well, anyway, when I see the car in Mississippi online, it's a turbo car. I message the guy, I make him an offer, and the conversation opens up. Well, I go locally to look at this black one because even though I know I probably won't buy the black one, I'm probably gonna buy the white one. I wanted to have something to compare it to. So I went and looked at one locally, it was a black one. And once I drove that car, I quickly realized when I got back into my Maserati that I would prefer my Maserati. I really did. I actually looked at a second black one that was also local. And to be honest, when I got into those cars, I wasn't impressed at all. But I planned to go look at the white car, the turbo car, and I realized then that this is a different ball game altogether. So Porsches with turbos versus Porsches base, it just was different. So I drive this car and I realized I think I do like this car. No, I know I like this car. So I was still working out the deal with this white car. Same similar situation to what happened with the Ferrari the first time as far as working on this deal, the color that I want pops up. So then I look up, same week, it's almost like, wow, deja vu. Same week, the silver car pops up, red interior. I message the guy, I'm interested in this car. Okay, cool, what do you like to know? When are you available to show me this car? He tells me when he's available to show me the car, I go look at the car. So guess what I gotta do? Reverse the deal on the white car because I want this silver car. So now it probably sounds like I'm just wasting people's time buying cars, changing my mind, giving deposit on cars, changing my mind. I know. I feel a way about that. And now I have the silver Panamera, and I really like that car. Next to the Ferrari, the Panamera is my favorite car. And that's because it's hard to beat the Ferrari. It's hard to beat that gated shifter and the sound of that 2B exhaust with no catalytic converters on it. It's hard to beat that. But I really wanted to get the silver over the red, and I cannot stress how much I like this car. Right now I have the Savini wheels on it. Those were a convenient set. I bought those locally the same day that I bought the car. I went and picked those wheels up. It actually ended up being at a place where I bought my white Range Rover. I didn't know that until I Googled the address, like, hey, man, I'm familiar with you guys. I bought my Range Rover from you guys. But anyway, they had those wheels sitting over there, and I was like, okay, I know I want brushed wheels on this car, probably with a step lip. But for now, the wheels that came on the car, they were totally garbage. It wasn't gonna work for me. I decided that what I would do is get these wheels now, just to have this car sitting a little bit better, because they are 22 by 12s in the rear and 22 by 10s or 9.5s in the front. But the 12s in the rear was really what was selling me. I felt like I can just get these wheels, and once I get the wheels built that I want, I can sell these wheels. Well, all of that to say, these wheels has really grown on me. So maybe I'll get some more wheels later, maybe I won't. On this car, I need to do the chrome trim around the window delete. I need to tint the windows. I need to do something with my brake calipers. Now, I was thinking to do the brake calipers red because the interior is red, of course, and I felt like that would keep it consistent. But right now, I'm really thinking I want to do green or yellow or orange or something like that. And I'm leaning towards yellow because, of course, my Ferrari has the yellow brakes on the silver, and I just like how that looks. The Bentley, I'm about done with the Bentley. When I was building on the Bentley, this is just a segue, I may have mentioned this before. When I was building on the Bentley, I was gonna do the Super Sport front bumper, leave it alone. But then this body kit came up, which is a prior design body kit, and I just could not get over this body kit. And to be honest, what I was doing at that time was comparing, do I wanna get the Super Sport or the prior design? I looked at all these images, looked at videos, as many as I could, and I do not regret it at all. I love how the Bentley looks. I have to finish de-chroming it. If you can see the chrome trim around the windows, the chrome grille is still in the middle, that doesn't match, that has to go. And just a little tidbit, I'm thinking I may buy a newer Bentley, and if I get a newer Bentley, I'll probably sell this Bentley. The fact that I chose the silver Ferrari gated over the paddle shift car, I love how Ferrari paddle shift, there's this sound that it makes, especially on the Challenger Dolly. When you bang that gear and you hear that the exhaust have that pop sound, I love it. But I cannot stress enough how much I love the way that clanking sound in the gears goes in that gated shifter. I cannot stress enough how much I love that sound. It can't be replaced. So when you hear the clanking sound with the exhaust sound, with the smell of the Ferrari, it's intoxicating. It is an experience that so also I'm thinking to get a newer Ferrari, by the way, but I don't think I'll want to sell this one. So that's it today, guys. I just wanted to talk about these silver cars and how I ended up with so many silver cars. Not that anybody was wondering, right? But again, I'm Eric. This is Subliminal TV that you're watching. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. I would appreciate it. It means a great deal. It doesn't cost you anything. Subscribe. I would appreciate it. If you're returning here from before, I appreciate you returning. I love you guys. Thank you for watching. Peace.
Subliminal TV.